Okay, Bitcoin is back at 105. And I don't know if it's going to hold there or not. We've been fluctuating between, 99 to 105 for a little bit here. And that's why I want to zoom out. I just want to re-zoom out, kind of reintroduce myself, really gotten a lot of new people here. Want to zoom out, way zoom out, okay? So my name is Brian. I talk to affluent 35 to 55-year-olds about how to incorporate Bitcoin into their personal finances. And a big part of that recently has been I've been working at startups for the past 6 years. Startups are very volatile, switched between them a lot. Recently stopped working at the one I was at. And so that put me back into a kind of a transition phase where I'm just having a short-term goal of replacing about 8,600 bucks a month in like net income, right? So previous salary was about $155,000 and that netted out to like 8,600 bucks. So there's just a cash flow there of like we have a certain standard of living, we have stuff that we like to do, we've got kids in private school, like we've just like life, right? Normal life. Love living in Southern California, got stuff going on. And so there's a short-term need of that, which pivoted me from primarily growth investing into dividend investing. And that's what I've been reflecting on a lot over the past 2 to 3 months, right? So we have a combination of some bonus income that we knew was going to hit this year, combined with some equity that we, sold out of in the previous company, and we're using that to create a dividend portfolio. And two cornerstones of that right now are BTCI, a Bitcoin covered call fund, and STRC, the money market attacking awesome product from Strategy, right? So one target's a 27% monthly annual distribution paid monthly. One target's about a 10.5%. So making that the cornerstone of the dividend portfolio. There's four legs to our personal finance. So going towards this though, a lot of questions arrive though, right? Of like, well, are you pivoting to dividend investing? Are you like taking your foot off the gas too early? Are you like being so focused on growth for a long time and being so focused on the massive opportunity that Bitcoin provides and the 50 to 60% annual CAGR, like that, we've almost been spoiled by that. We've almost been spoiled by that and come to expect that. And so I'm really practicing to like, I'm trying to do everything I can to just kind of shock my system to like see it how other people see it so that I really just want to level up to a new framework, like a new framework. And so I'm like calling financial advisors and just asking them like, different wealth advisors, different banks and stuff, and just like giving them the situation, being like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. And some of them lean really heavy on like, well, you can't have growth and income at the same time. Like they're just very kind of heavy handed on that. I don't know if that's just to set expectations or what that is, but so I've been reflecting on that. And it's like this is what I feel like when I rationalize it in my own head, I understand obviously my entire situation. And that's one of the problems with this isn't a bagging on financial advisors thing. Like I think financial advisors can be good. I think consultants in general are positive, and I think getting used to paying for consultants is a positive trait. Like I have experienced major life upgrades when I've like paid for consulting. But you also have to know like when to dial it off, like when to turn it off. Because if you're just stuck in like paying, but then you're not going out executing. So classically on that. But that doesn't mean finding consultants in general is bad. So I've been interviewing these consultants, just trying to understand where they're coming from. And I guess what I tell myself back to the like, oh, you're pivoting to dividend investing or pivoting to income investing too soon is there's four legs of our table. The four legs of our table are my wife and I both work. We have the ability to work. Like we have the energy and ability and network to create value in the world and bring in income, right? And then we have a Bitcoin savings. So we use Bitcoin instead of a high yield savings account. We have long the raw commodity. We've been deep diving on these income funds, but the raw commodity, raw Bitcoin is still our like high yield savings account, right? And then we have rental properties. We've got two other rental properties here in Southern California. Rental properties, Southern California, probably grow at about like a 7% CAGR. And then we have HELOCs out on both of them that provide us liquidity for investing and for lifestyle. And then the fourth is what we're building right now, which is this dividend portfolio. And up till this point, we hadn't had a fourth. We hadn't had a fourth because we hadn't really, all of our liquidity was going into Bitcoin savings. We hadn't received like a lump distribution to be able to build a fourth leg of the table. And there hadn't been a lifestyle need yet to pivot away from DCAing Bitcoin to DCAing dividend funds, right? And so that's all brand new in the last 2 to 3 months. And so now reflecting on that, the four legs of the table is still there. And what are we doing? What are we doing? We're your passive income, creating passive income, harvesting the Bitcoin volatility, harvesting the Bitcoin upside in order to receive income today that you don't have to work for, that you don't have to sit at your desk babysitting Slack about, that you don't have to be driving to an office, that you don't have to be thinking about all the time. That's what that's doing. And actually, what is that doing? Actually, what does it do? It's freeing up brain space. Like my Aura Ring like texted me. It was like, hey, we really noticed that you've gone from about 5.5 hours of stress a day to about 3.5 hours of stress a day. That's like a cognitive data point. That's like a literal data point saying that I have more capacity. Like my brain capacity is higher right now than it previously was. And I actually think so when you calculate the ROI, this gets a little like hand wavy, but I think it matters. I think it matters, and I don't think enough people talk about it. Like when you calculate the actual ROI of these dividend funds or of switching to income investing, like the lightness on your brain counts. That counts. And that lightness on the brain, I actually have a really high confidence that's going to translate into growth opportunities. And so that's just something I've been reflecting on today of like the growth story of our top line net worth number is not over. It's not over. It's never over. Life is very long. Life is really, really long. I've been reflecting on that too. Like kids, I definitely understand the days are long, but the weeks and months fly by. Like I'm definitely experiencing that. Absolutely, definitely experiencing that. And that's where I've been trying to like think about our budget and think about our cash flow and think about our net worth more in like, just months and quarters rather than thinking about it in a week to week kind of thing. Like I don't want to spend so much time thinking about the micro budget in the week to week. Want to really nail the like quarter on quarter, like what is happening, what is changing. And that's really what I'm reflecting on is like how to transition more and more and more to a long-term mindset. Like Bitcoin people like to talk about having a long-term mindset, and we have. If you've been saving Bitcoin for a long time, if you've been really good at DCAing the raw commodity, you absolutely have. You've crushed it. You crushed it. Now I think I'm realizing that I have a little bit of a skill gap that I'm the specific skill gap that I'm trying to like add on right now then is basically how do you scale a single digit net worth into the $5 million net worth handhold basically is like that's where a lot of my like when I'm walking and just thinking and manifesting and whatever, like that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about is how tactically, like because there's the emotion side of it and then there's the tactical side of it. And tactically, like truly tactically, how do you scale, $1 million net worth to 3 million? How do you scale 2 million to 5 million? How do you do that? How do you do that? Is something that I've been like reflecting about and trying to connect with other people about. And so the why that's a little bit of a shift compared to the previous way of thinking about Bitcoin is because Bitcoiners, rightfully so and positively so, have been really focused on their Bitcoin number. They've been really focused on how many Bitcoin do you have? And because measuring things in dollars is shitty. That's true. That's absolutely true. Like being a millionaire is not the same as it was 10, 20 years ago. It's not the same. It's definitely watered down. Like it's absolutely watered down. Being a whole coiner is kind of a new emerging thing that is an aspiring thing to want to be. So that's true. But not everyone in the world is like moving their numerator. And I've become less passionate about like trying to bend the world towards the Bitcoin numerator, and I've been more passionate about kind of just leveling up in influence and leveling up in net worth in kind of the traditional sense. Because, and this is honestly, this is what I talk to a lot of Bitcoiners about with the whole like real estate thing. And it's like, you don't understand how many casual conversations in Southern California, it's like helpful to be able to be like, oh yeah, we also own rentals. Oh yeah, we also own rentals. The ROI from a relationship building and a networking building perspective to say that mathematically evens out the like mismanagement in the like CAGR between real estate and Bitcoin. Also, when you count the like HELOC funds, that you can get a HELOC for less than you can Bitcoin backed lending currently. Will that change someday because Bitcoin is pristine collateral? Totally. Like, absolutely. We are bending the world towards that way. But I guess another way to summarize all of this is has spent so many years kind of deep down the Bitcoin like movement that it's refreshing to kind of go back and pick up the best parts of kind of traditional wealth management or traditional financial independence, retire early kind of stuff, and marry that with everything about Bitcoin being the pristine asset and Bitcoin being better than fiat money. That's blending a lot of like fresh, you know when your brain is chewing on like fresh information and making lots of fast strides all at one time. Like I'm definitely right in that right now. Definitely right in that right now. And that feels great. Like that absolutely feels great. And you can feel the staleness when you do talk to, again, some of these financial advisors. Like they just talk about the government debt for like 3, 4, 5 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, like absolutely. And so it's all going to melt up, right? Like real estate's going to melt up, crypto's going to melt up, stocks are going to melt up. And then there's kind of like there's a hesitancy there to have full confidence in that I don't know why. I don't understand why a traditional financial advisor would not have I have 100% conviction on that. And I don't know, is it just because I'm a guy on the internet like talking? Like I have 100% conviction that stocks, crypto, and real estate are going to go up measured in dollars. Like that's just a like I'm pretty. You can say that, but and so I don't understand where the hesitancy comes from in that, I guess that is the quote unquote edge that Bitcoiners have. Like that, if you were to really distill it down, that's the edge. Is that no? I just don't. I don't see like a different outcome. And so that's the edge. And I don't understand like I don't get the like, okay, then what? Like it to back to the kind of traditional way of looking at it. Like if you don't have confidence in Bitcoin, don't shouldn't you have like max confidence in stocks then? That like because stocks are just gonna go higher, like measured in dollars, and but they don't. And I think that's because stocks introduce a lot of randomness. And I've gone into this a lot. Like stocks provide a lot of randomness because there's a board of directors that can just do weird and wonky things. Or everyone is trying to like guess together on like, oh, how much should the stock be worth? Bitcoin doesn't have a board of directors. And so that's the reason why I like it so much. I like that it's just a raw commodity. It just like sits there and just is its thing. And I like that now there's the spectrum of Bitcoin products that track the price to a certain degree and then will peel off income. And so you can blend you can blend wherever you are in that spectrum for wherever you are in life and wherever you are in the like principal protection rather than having to go into stocks. That is interesting to me. That's super interesting. And that's the edge, I guess. And that's the reason why there's still a little bit of a disconnect when I am calling these financial advisors, but it's good to like do the mental exercise of trying to see it from their perspective. And I've also noticed that they don't like so that's on the income side. The other thing is they don't they don't love it. Like and this is weird to me or they don't love it when you're just like yeah, this is where I am and I want to scale to 5 million and I want to do it in 5 years. They immediately are just like, whoa, 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 like you can't do that. And I'm like, I don't, why? Like what? Bitcoin is going to grow somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30% CAGR. Like it's just on the spreadsheet. And I'm like, okay, sweet. Maybe it doesn't happen in 5 years. Maybe it happens in 7.5 years. Like that's still like, that's still there. And I don't fully get that. I don't understand that. Um, and then other people have told me on the phone, they're just like, yeah, you're a tweener. You're just like, yeah, you're a tweener. Like there isn't really there's not really great custom advice for people that are scaling from low millions to 5 millions. Cause there's like not, I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's not enough ways for them to make money off of that. I don't know. Um, that's an interesting thing that I'm like wondering about. Yeah. So just some zoomed out thoughts. Just some zoomed out thoughts. Gonna go for a walk. If you made it all the way to the end, I think you would really enjoy being a channel member. It's a few bucks a month and you can cancel anytime. You can get members only live streams, join our private Discord chat for members of this channel. It's called the Bitcoin Personal Finance Think Tank. And so really trying to bring together people that are evolving the way that they incorporate Bitcoin into their personal finances. We have growth people, we have business owners, we've got real estate people, we've got people that go hard on dividend funds. And so it's a really good mix. Click join right next to the subscribe button and we'll see you on the next one.